Won't you take me back to Tennessee?
The award-winning Tennessee Wildcast is on the air with the latest info about hunting, fishing, boating, wildlife watching, and all things outdoors. This episode is brought to you by GSM Outdoors, whose vision is to preserve the sportsman's legacy, fuel innovation, and enable the next generation of outdoor enthusiasts. Think outside. That's where you'll find us. Now, make welcome your host, Jason Harmon.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of Tennessee Wildcast. We're glad you're tuning in. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We got a great show for you today. It's all about fishing and boating education. But before we dive into all of that, Mr. Don King is helping me co-host.
Yes, sir, Jason. How about a radio shout-out here?
Let's do it.
All right. Freed-Hardeman University, WFHU 91.5 in Jackson. They run Wildcast Saturdays at noon and Sunday afternoons at 3, and the extras run each weekday at 5 p.m. And that's Freed-Hardeman University. That's the Lion, WFHU 91.5. We appreciate them as well as all our other radio partners across the state.
Yes, sir. And our TV partners and everybody out there watching and listening and tuning in on the podcast.
Yes.
Or on YouTube. We appreciate you. Subscribe, like, share, comment, stay engaged with us. Don't forget about Carbon TV is also out there. So if you can't find us, you're not looking hard enough.
Exactly.
We're everywhere. So, but yeah, we appreciate our partners who help us get the message out and get the word out. And like I said, today's all about fishing education, boating education. And we have Mr. David Lowrie with us today. He's our boating and fishing education coordinator.
What's going on, man?
Hey, David.
Glad to be back in with you. Been a little while, but
yeah,
you know, there's probably folks can only handle so much of me on television. And your shout outs, you know, we were talking about it a minute ago, but the cable channel up on the mountain where I live, GCTV up in Grundy County.
Yeah.
For those of you watching GCTV, don't adjust your dial. Your old Coach's Corner host is here. So, but I'll be gone soon. It's not like a regular thing. You don't have to like quit watching that.
We won't have him here every week.
No. I think this maybe is our fourth one we've done, and I've been here 5.5 years.
Yeah, so, you've been on a few times.
3 or 4 times, yeah.
It's always good to update.
And since the last time, something else has been added to that title, I know.
Yeah, we've moved stuff around and adjusted stuff around. So now, besides doing fishing education and outreach, they've given me the boating education coordinator spot. A lot of that is clerical, and that's okay because if we're getting what we need to do with that, you know, on my end of it, a lot of it, I'm making sure I'm getting the licenses entered as soon as those class forms come in from the various educators that we have across the state. And the faster that gets done, the better our customers are served.
Yes.
Because we get them in, we click it to where it sends it over to the real system, and now it's in the system where they should get their license in the mail, their certificate in the mail in 7 to 10, 12 days.
Yeah.
You know, folks don't want to wait on that.
Yeah.
I took my class. I want my form. So
exactly,
we're trying to do them as fast as possible. I don't care a bit that if I get it late in the afternoon, there's a lot of times I'm sitting at the house and TV's on or whatever, and I might be working on the fishing report stuff. But if I get that, I'll sit there and I've done classes that entered them in the computer at 7 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, serving the public is our job. So the quicker I get them in, the quicker we get them in, the better they're served.
So you mentioned the fishing report, fishing forecast. We appreciate you diving in and doing that for us. You can catch that every week on our website. It's also emailed and pushed out through social media and that sort of thing.
And we're always looking for reporters from other lakes that we don't have. Periodically, we will get the folks email in to ask TWRA, you know,
what about this body of water?
How come my lake's not covered?
Yeah.
The lake's not covered because we don't have somebody from there. And we have internal people, our Creel guys and stuff like that do reports.
And they're not on every body of water. They rotate. There's only a few of them, and they rotate bodies of water each year.
So our Creel clerks do some. But a lot of what we get, we've got guides, actual out there paid fishing guides, private companies, and they're all volunteering. So, you know, if your lake's not covered, get a hold, find somebody from there that wants to do it. And then, I kind of need to get Allie to maybe just put us another little package of goodies together to send out to the guys as a little bit of
thank you. Yeah.
Well, we did that once and they were very tickled with it.
I bet.
But it's a volunteer thing. So if your lake's not covered, help us find somebody and I'll be glad to,
Hey, David, which lakes in particular do you have the most need, do you think?
Oh, there's a lot of them because, things that we have that are solid and regular and stay, Chickamauga, Watts Bar, Nickajack's kind of solid. We get Center Hill a bunch. We get Dale. Well, we get Dale Hollow a lot. Will Shibig's up there on Dale Hollow, and he's far more reliable than the weather, I promise. Will's awesome. But I like to say Will because Will's also one of my old Tennessee Bass Nation kids.
Okay.
So, I love that he's here. But, we get Paris for Kentucky Lake a fair amount. We don't have anybody at Pickwick anymore. We get Priest and Old Hickory occasionally. There's a ton of lakes that we're not getting. We get Douglas Lake fairly often. Tim's Woods in Normandy, if Jake Davis is not covered up, he's kind of been covered up the last couple months. But he said he's going to try to have us another set of reports for there. But there's plenty of lakes we don't have. And it doesn't matter what lake it is. Even if it's one of the smaller lakes that maybe the only people in your area of the state have an idea about, if you want to report there, find me somebody, plug them into us,
Definitely.
and we'll get them in there every week. We're happy to have everybody.
Might even be a community lake somewhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to roll it back to boating safety, it's required, to have your boating license to operate a vessel on these waterways.
Well, it's changed a lot in the last year. Okay, now our rule in law here is if you were born after January 1, 1989, and you want to operate a motorized boat on Tennessee waters, you have to have that license.
Yep.
You have to take it. But there's other requirements been coming in from other places. The state of Alabama has instituted, so if you're going to go to Alabama to fish, they've instituted, they don't care what your age is, if you're 75 or 12.
Yeah.
If you're operating a boat, you have to have somebody's boater's safety, and if you don't, they're writing you a ticket. And there's a fair amount of people from Tennessee that'll go down and fish Alabama, and they'll fish all that.
They're grandfathered in here, but you cross the state line and not so
There's
much.
no grace.
Yeah.
Also, there are tournament organizations that are making it a requirement. Bassmaster.
Oh, okay.
Bassmaster has put it in at the first of this year. They don't care if you're an Elite Series angler or you're a junior in the Tennessee Bass Nation program. If you're driving the boat, you got to have it, and they randomly check. And you know what?
It's just great information anyway.
I wish that everybody who's riding in a boat that's the age of 12 and up would get that class because it's helping make more safe water.
Yeah.
And when you know that there's still accidents going on, you had tournaments out of our state earlier in the year where there was 2 big boating accidents that made a bunch of news. Some people lost their life.
Yeah.
We need more boater safety, not less. We need everybody paying attention to boater safety. I'm not saying don't go out and have fun. I'm not saying you can't drive fast from this slough to that point because you're trying to get all your spots in and catch the most for the tournament. But we got to be safe.
Yeah.
And that boater safety class helps so much. And we've made it easier now, too.
Right.
And you may have grown up or been on a boat for many years and know how a boat operates, but there are some little things in that course that, reminders and things that talks about that maybe you forget about every now and again when you're out there on the water, and being safe around dams and just what could be under the water and not knowing how to navigate the
navigation, who's got the right of way.
Yeah, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, even though you know how that boat operates and runs, there's more to the course than just, how to fire up a boat.
Yeah, I was on the water for 3 days last week at Watts Bar, and a lot of good stuff, a lot of safe, and then there were a few boats that weren't so safe.
Yeah.
And you can be the safest boat on the lake, but you got to watch out for the other guy too.
Right.
And that boater safety class will help you with that. Now, one of the things I want to bring up, the fact that we've changed and added an opportunity to get that license now.
Man, you read my mind, David.
Yeah. Okay, we still have in-person classes. And personally, I think those are the best. I think you're going to learn more actually having an instructor in front of you and going to an in-person class.
How do you find that?
Well, on our events page.
GoOutdoorsTennessee.com.
On our events page, and those classes are posted all over the state all year long. Boater safety classes are done in the state of Tennessee all around the year.
Yeah.
So there's that. And you just look for something in your area. And again, they'll give you the paper test. That's the ones that get sent in to me, and I'll make sure they get entered. You also can still go to the library and take it online. But we changed, and we've offered now where you can take it online at home. You don't have to go anywhere. You need to study for it because it's still going to give you the same requirements. You can only miss so many, and you can only take it twice in a day. But there's no excuse that you can't get the class anymore.
Right.
I can't. Well, this is on a work day, or I'm gone that week. Okay.
Yeah.
People have busy schedules. Now, if you can pull it up and do it on a computer at the house, there's time to do it on a computer at the house.
Yep.
Or you're watching too many knife shows, or
No, that's you, David. Knife shows.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. But wasn't our knife very cool this past year?
Was, yeah.
Or this past few months. Our commemorative knife for the 70. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, I've become a knife collecting lunatic.
Well, let's veer from there. The donation center. We have a donation center at GoOutdoorsTennessee.com, and you can purchase or donate. You donate to take home a hat or the knife.
No, the knives are gone.
The knife
sold out in a weekend.
So, I mean, there are other items there that you can donate, and some swag will be mailed to your house.
Right.
So.
And Miss Allie's always coming up with new cool stuff. So, you look there now, and it's like, well, I don't want anything that's there. Give it a month, and Allie's probably going to have something new on there that's worth having and cool. So,
yep, exactly.
And we give away some hats and stuff while we're out and about, and so do the officers and different stuff. But yeah, the boating safety is so vitally important, and now it's so readily accessible. There is no excuse not to have it.
Yeah. So go to our website, tnwildlife.org, and once you're there, you can navigate through the boating tab, and there's boating. I'll just tell you exactly what it says. The boating tab at the top, or the drop-down menu, and it says boating safety education. Once you click that, you're there. All the information for online courses there. All the information for the in-person courses there. There's an FAQ, so you can read up if you have any questions. And if you don't know the answers after you've visited this page, send us an email, ask.twra@tn.gov. And we'll get the answer.
And we still have books we can give out. If you're anywhere close to me, folks, the people that know me and you need a book, holler. I got books. We got more books coming, but there's books across the state.
You study on your own.
Sit there and study that book. It's 60 questions. It's not easy, but it's such vitally important information.
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be easy. And, so if you need the book to study, holler at us somewhere, somehow. We'll get you a book if we got to mail it to you.
Or visit the website. I mean, it's right there. You can read the PDF online. So.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Some people like that book in their hand, though. And again, we're giving them all the options.
Right. And while we're talking about education and safety, hunter education is the same way. Hunter education is out there available for you online or in person. Those classes are being posted as well. The study materials are there. So, same line here. You can be safe when you're out there hunting and boating. So, and boating safety and hunting safety kind of go hand in hand when it comes to duck hunting and some of those other adventures out there on the water, colder seasons when you're hunting and stuff. So, don't overload your boat. Know your navigation rules. Lights are important.
Life jackets.
Life jackets are the number one. Yeah.
And three most important things. Life jackets.
Well, and it's not just throw it over your shoulders, guys. It's got to be
or
zipped.
have it handy. It's stuffed in a
if your
thing
boat,
on your boat.
If your boat is under power of the gas motor and moving, you should have your life jacket on. It should be zipped up or buckled up or both.
Right.
Snap, zipped or buckled. And if you're driving the boat, you should have the kill switch attached. It's just the safe way to operate, because you can be the safest boat on the water, but there's another idiot out there that's not so safe, and you got to watch out for everybody.
Yeah.
You know.
And speaking of life jackets, Coast Guard approved. It's got the stamp on the inside. You can see it. You can find it. If it doesn't have that, don't wear it. You know, it's not a approved flotation device.
And the other thing, too, that gets missed a lot, and we catch it with, you know, again, people know I volunteer and help run Tennessee Bass Nation high school and youth tournaments. If they ain't 16 years old, they cannot wear the inflatables. They have to have a standard life jacket. You must be 16 years of age to put on and use one of those inflatables. Also, if the only thing you've got in your boat is an inflatable for everybody, if the game warden comes up on you and you don't have it on, it doesn't count.
Yeah.
It does not count. You should have the 3 more, the regular ones in there, or just leave it on. And that's what those were made for. They were made for you to leave it on all the time. It's not in your way if you're trying to cast. It's not making you sweat. It makes you safer. And with my mobility issues, I'm strongly thinking about getting an inflatable for my pond, for me in my little pontoon boat.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I have a miniature pontoon, but I don't move as good as I used to. Okay, I got, you know, old soldier's got some issues, and I'm really thinking about wearing one in my own pond that's 4 acres.
Well, it can be dangerous. I mean, you fall in and...
You know, I can swim. I'm a great swimmer, but I'm not physically. What if I can't swim far enough? What if I can't? And I cramp up a lot with my issues.
Yeah.
I woke up with a Charlie horse this morning. I had to stomp out. so you know, you might need that. I may need an inflatable in the pond. So it's just a safety thing. Stay safe. Stay alive.
And on the inflatable, make sure it's current. You know, that it's charged and ready to go.
You got to watch those cartridges. Sometimes they'll leak or whatever, and periodically you just need, you know, if you haven't checked it in 2 years, I'd pull the cord and see if it inflates and go buy another cartridge. You know, that way you know it's still working.
Yeah.
It's got to be serviceable. It's so important. Safety's so important on the water.
Definitely. All right, I think we've kind of covered this. Can't think of anything else other than just go take a class and be ready, be safe on the water. So fishing, yeah. So additional. Well, one thing I did want to mention, Betsy Woods retired, and so David is now stepping up and continuing her legacy. But Betsy really pushed boater education and helped, you know, get boater ed where it is today in Tennessee. So
the baton has been passed,
and they've traded off my other truck. I had a regular, just kind of plain Jane truck with a logo on it, and now I've got that truck.
Oh, the Wear It truck,
and we also just upgraded the wrap job on it.
Yeah, so
it's out there in the parking lot, and I've got some pictures too. But we've changed the wrap. It's not that blue truck. They took all the full wrap off, and we just used big stickers. So it still looks like it's wrapped.
Can see you coming.
It still looks like it's wrapped. It's got a lot of graphics on every side, but it was less expensive for us. People always want us to save money. We saved money. It was quicker and easier on the guy doing the wrap job. And I think it's gorgeous. And you created most of the design for it, so thank you for your skills.
Don't make me blush there, David.
You know, Mutual Admiration Society, right?
No, it was a cool little project. I thought it turned out great. I look forward to seeing it in person. We'll check it out here in a minute.
Go check it out and get some more pictures yourself.
But so continuing on with Betsy's legacy of boater education and continuing educating folks out there. So fishing education, when you came on board, that's what you were doing, right?
The majority of what I did was I'd go out and do events with basic entry-level Zebco 33 type spin casters, and we'd go out, and I got hired in January of 20. And the world shut down in March, and we kind of all wondered around, what are we going to do? And then the governor said, but the outdoors is still open.
Oh, yeah.
So the head honchos at that time, both are gone. It's like, we're going out. Let's go. And we went to the community fishing lakes primarily, the big metro ones. Yeah. Because, our fisheries guys stock those and they're targeted. And we did pop-up events. And people didn't have anywhere to go or anything to do. And they found out about it and they came out in droves.
And they popped up and fished a little bit.
Oh, my goodness. We had people all over Cedar Hill and all over out in Maryville and in Memphis and in Chattanooga and all those places. And they were covered up. But now Cedar Hill, we always had the biggest numbers. And what was cool too, the schools were shut down, so I had a lot of my Tennessee Bass Nation kids out there in their jerseys, and they were helping folks. And it was phenomenal. I mean, all we had to do was put it out. We put it on Facebook and Nextdoor. You did all that, and it's like, and people came. Well, then, year and a half later, we start drifting back to normal. I'm not sure any of us are normal anymore, but we started drifting back to normal, and those events started dropping off because people
got busy again.
They had to go back to the office. They had to go back to school, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So then we started targeting groups and trying to advertise with groups and say, hey, we're available. I'm available. And we've got 4 of those trailers now across. Actually, there's 5. Really, there's 5 trailers across the state.
They're stocked and ready to go. They got rods, reels, bait, everything.
They got rods, reels, hooks, sinkers, floats, all that stuff. And every time one of us goes out with that, we'll stop at the bait store and get a whole bunch of night crawlers and redworms, and we'll go. But we target groups. And that's every kind of group. Some people, oh, you're teaching kids all the time. No, we're teaching kids. I'm teaching seniors. I'm teaching adults with disabilities and disabled veterans. Corporate groups. I did a year and a half ago or whatever, I did a corporate group at Cedar Hill that was, I'm not going to say who it is, but it was a government corporate group that it was their team building day.
Yeah.
What better way to team build?
Perfect thing for a team building.
And, there were people on that staff there were people there that knew how to fish, but then there was some that didn't.
Yeah.
And they helped me with them. And I mean, one lady had her 2 daughters come, and they caught the first fish of their lives. And it's some of those catfish we'd stocked there. They were tickled to death. So, we want you to know that, again, hit the ask email.
Ask.TWRA@tn.gov.
And, because you say it so much faster, that's the reason I left it for you. you said it so many times. But it doesn't matter. You're a church group, you're a homeschool group, you're an actual school, a public school, a private school, doesn't matter the age. Community type groups, a civic group, there's a group here in town we do 50 forward, and it's 50-year-olds and up.
Okay, yeah.
They do it to get them in the outdoors. We've done a group here in town. It's a national group, but the chapter here is Outdoor Afro. And again, it's to get that community back outdoors. And, when they want to do fishing, they call me. They do more than that. But fishing, they call me. We'll go to Cedar Hill a lot. There's no group that the door is closed to. None, I guess, unless you're, an enemy of the state, maybe. And I don't want to get in that kind of trouble. I don't want those folks to show up and decide they're going to cart me off too. But we're open to everybody. We're open to everybody, and all you got to do is get a hold of us and schedule us. I can go anywhere in the state. Okay, I am a statewide person. But what happens if I'm already booked? Well, then we're going to talk to our region offices and say who can go accommodate these folks.
Yeah.
And we will bring the rods and reels. We will bring the hooks and sinkers and floats. We will go get the bait. I usually have some water in a cooler with some ice on it just in case somebody forgot to bring something and they need a drink.
Yeah.
We don't feed you and buy you sun drops and Coca-Colas, but, I usually keep some water on the truck. And we'll come out and we'll spend 2, 3, 4. I've gone as long as 5 hours with a group, and we'll work with you. And if your group's got people in it that know how to fish, I'm going to say a few things to them and turn them loose. If they need full instructions, we're going to give them full instructions and then turn those folks loose. And hopefully it's a good day that we catch any size fish.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things I do. I make sure I've got all different size hooks, because you can go to a certain spot and they're hitting it, but they're not taking it. Well, that's smaller fish that can't get that bigger hook.
Yeah.
So all I do is unsnap the swivel, get another snelled hook that's smaller and put it on there, and all of a sudden they're reeling them in. And if they've never caught a fish, a bluegill that big, they're still smiling.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Tickled to death.
I had Vanderbilt students one time over at Couchville, and they hadn't caught fish. They'd never caught fish in their life. And they're grinning like possums over bluegill that big. So it's like, okay, now we understand it. And then you work your way up to doing, you learn more and you work your way up into going chasing them big old bass or big old catfish or whatever makes you happy.
Yeah.
Well, just to remind folks, GoOutdoorsTennessee.com is where you can find these events, both boating and fishing, if they're a scheduled event, to come out to as far as the fishing goes. But remember, GoOutdoorsTennessee.com is where you purchase your license. You do need a hunting and fishing license to go fish in these events.
Get your combo license.
So get the combo license. It's, I don't know, I did the math a long time ago, 11 cents a day to fish. So, I mean, you're pennies on the dollar there for going out and having a good
And
time.
license fees didn't change, so,
Best deal around.
License fee package and those increases did not pass. So, still the same price point, still the same navigation to find what you're looking for there.
And, if you're not sure, just buy the one-day license. It's like by the time you're done with the fees, it's like $6.
Uh-huh.
And, you can do it on your phone. You can do it on your computer. You can do it at the stores that sell licenses. But, I mean, these things make life easy. You can, you tag your turkey, you tag your deer from it, you buy your license. I was in the blind 2 years ago at Reelfoot and went, oh, my gosh, I didn't get my Reelfoot package license.
Whoops.
And I mean, I don't care if you wear the seal or not. We're all human. We can forget something. It's like, I got to get legal real quick. I don't need to be in trouble. Boom, 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 boom. I was legal.
There you go.
It's legal the minute you put it in on that phone. So, there's no excuse not to have it. I promise you we spend the money well.
Yep.
That's why you have more fish in the waters. You have lots of other things. Our WMAs are taken care of. All these different things we do. This money goes to a lot of stuff that benefits the community.
Yep. Well, David, I appreciate you being here. And before we run out of time, we wanted to highlight one other thing that we promised our friends at Ducks Unlimited that we would touch on. But thank you for what you do, and thank you for all the extra effort you give us.
And again, just holler at us, folks. We want to come and work with you and create opportunities for you to fish or other education things that we do.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thanks, David.
So the Ducks Unlimited Expo, Ducks Expo or duckexpo.com is coming to Memphis August 1st through the 3rd. It's 2025 in Memphis. It's a cool event, and we just wanted to highlight that for our friends at Ducks Unlimited. Like I said, August 1st through the 3rd at the Renaissance Convention Center. It's $15 a day, free parking in the garage there at the center. It's primarily waterfowl focused, but they also feature boats, dogs, land realty, and off-road stuff. Over 240 vendors. It's going to be a fun event.
Something for all ages, too.
Yeah.
Yep. Kids totally welcome.
Yeah, definitely. So if you want to experience that, it's presented by Purina Pro Plan, and it should be a fun event. So go check that out with our friends over at Ducks Unlimited. Again, David, thank you. If you're looking for one of these events, GoOutdoorsTennessee.com. If you're looking for other information about what's going on with the agency, tnwildlife.org is your source for all that. So
remember, guys, the only bad day fishing is the day you don't go.
That's right. We'll end on that word from Mr. David Lowrie.
Yes. All right.
Thank you, guys, and we'll see you next time.
Stay connected with TWRA by visiting our website at tnwildlife.org. And follow us on Facebook, X, and Instagram. You can invest in Tennessee's wildlife future by purchasing a license at GoOutdoorsTennessee.com. That's GoOutdoorsTennessee.com.